Jeffrey Hurlings is clearly the man to beat, but behind him is a young bunch of young guns looking to get in on the action. So sit back and enjoy the first ever Grand Prix of Thailand. Well, the crowds are starting to get their way into the gates here, and there's a quick look at the circuit. Just under 1,700 meters long, as I said in my opening there a moment ago. It's a spectacular circuit, some big jumps, it's fast, it's got some decent elevation in there as well. Part of the circuit is a little bit sandy, and the second part of the circuit a little bit sandy with some stones. As you can see, this top end here, just by the SAT uphill triple jump. So in terms of the actual width of the track, riders got a lot of space in which to work and work the bikes and try and find a way to get through. Yesterday, of course, we had, and I'm sure it's been well documented, a deluge of rain, a freak rainstorm that destroyed the track. But as you can see, it's in great condition.
We're in Sirasha. We're down on the MX2 start line for the first race of the day. We're going to have a word with Roman Fevre, who's made a great start to the year. What's made the difference? Are you feeling better with the team? What's made the difference this year?
Yeah, I take a good start this year, and yeah, between last year and this year, I worked very hard for the start, and yeah, the team make a good job on my bike, and yeah, I feel very good, and I hope I take all shot, and yeah.
And a nice start for you yesterday in qualifying too.
Yeah, I take a very good start yesterday. Yeah.
Best of luck today. We're going to move down and also have a word with Jose Butron. Jose, we obviously had that rain during qualifying yesterday. It was all right by the time you guys got onto the track later on, but has it changed much out there this morning? Does the track feel any different?
Yeah, the track feels good. I feel good with my bike, comfortable. Yesterday I lost 2 positions in the last lap. I was third, so for today I'm more motivated. I want to go for the podium today.
Well, best of luck out there. Right, before we see the MX2 race, we're going to see what happened when some of our riders changed from 2 wheels to 3. We're used to seeing the guys go bar to bar on the track. Let's see what happened when they got to grips with 3 wheels. Let the tuk-tuk race begin. about your skills on 3 wheels?
Yeah, the tuk-tuk race was pretty fun. I've never done anything like that before. Skills, yeah, they're pretty up there. I won the race, so.
Yeah, the tuk-tuk racing was really good. It's always fun, you know, those media days on Friday. It's always dangerous to give like bikes or something to our racers because we always break things.
Livy, how's it being a passenger in the tuk-tuk?
That was fun. I mean, we had really good fun with Malpocock on the handlebar. It was pretty scary. We did a good race, but we won, so I'm pretty happy. That was already the first win of the weekend.
Gauthier, what do you think about your tuk-tuk skills?
I was just crazy. There was some water, we passed on, they get all the water, our concurrent, our teammate, and then we just jumped the ramp of the tabletop. That was huge, really nice.
Good fun had by all there in the tuk-tuk. That was on Thursday afternoon, just on the infield of the circuit. And as you can see, the riders there enjoying every minute of it. One rider enjoying himself as well, Jeffrey Hurlings, the Red Bull KTM factory rider. The current championship leader and, of course, the defending champion as well. And he is going to be starting from pole position here this weekend after he won the qualifying race yesterday from Romain Febvre. We heard from him. There he is on the Wilvo Nastan Gen Racing KTM. And those two pretty much first and second throughout the whole race. Jose Boutron, we heard from him on the grid as well. He was third until the final lap when Jake Nichols and Glenn Coldenhoff both found a way through on the final half and final third of the lap respectively. So Boutron finished in fifth ahead of the Monster Energy Yamaha, the lead Yamaha of Mel Pocock, last year's European 250 champion. Pocock started down in 8th and eventually came through to get through into 6th place from 8th. Christophe Charlier, he started in 7th, but Jordi Tixier, everyone's talking about him at the moment. He was in 5th, sitting at a nice, comfortable distance behind Boutron and Jake Nichols, but then he had a spectacular crash going up the furthest uphill triple, the SAT triple. You'll see that after the uphill wave section. He lost a foot peg as he hit the face of the jump. Everybody else behind him was committed, and I mean Jake Nichols, Coldenhoff, and Pocock. And how he was avoided, I will never know. But unfortunately for him, he landed awkwardly. The handlebar went underneath the helmet. He split his neck and his chin. He's got 14 stitches as the Red Bull KTM factory rider, Jordi Tixier. But he did pick himself up. He crashed out of 5th. He dropped down to 9th and brought it home in 8th. So that's the list. That's how the riders finished yesterday. Julian Lieber on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe MX2 machine was 9th, ahead of Dean Ferris, who lost a back brake whilst up in 7th position and had a scary moment in the race as well. Then it was Ferrandis on the Rockstar Bud Racing Kawasaki. The Kimi Raytak Vanderlaar Yamaha of Petrov was 12th. Then we had Stefan Olsen's JTEC Honda, ahead of Max Anstey Suzuki, Maxime Dupre Yamaha, Valentin Teye, Harry Koulas on the Garibaldi Honda, Alex Lupino, Vikislev Golovkin, and Toshiki Tomita. Well, the riders are down on the line as we speak, and they are getting ready to go racing here in Thailand for the first time. Weather conditions, hot, humid. It's around 35 degrees out there. The Monster Energy 15-second board goes up. Dave Nicol, our race director from the FIM in the blue shirt, getting ready. 5-second board turns. Hurlings just has a quick twitch of the shoulders, gets ready to go. This is the first MX2 race. Then Hurlings pulled a hole shot from up the inside yesterday. It was slightly firmer, but once again, Romain Febvre makes a good start on the Wilvo Nastan Gem Racing KTM. And he hauls around turn 1, down through the 2 singles and dropping down into the 2nd turn. A bit sticky through there yesterday, but that'll clear out as this race goes on. But as the riders head down on the plateau, past pit lane and through this switchback corner, Jake Nichols looks to have got a good start as well. So the Get Athena hole shot then going to Romain Febvre. But already losing out to Jeffrey Hurlings pretty much like yesterday, actually. Nichols waiting a little bit later yesterday in the qualifying race, but Jake Nichols is third and looking to go down there on the inside on the number 45, Wilbo Nastan. So the Nastan boys, Jackie Martin's got two of their boys inside the top 3 positions at the moment, but it's Jeffrey Hurlings here, number 84, who launched himself up into the lead. Christophe Charlier getting a good start, so too Jose Boutron. Max Anstey's inside the top 7 as well, with Tixier, Dean Ferris and Glenn Coldenhoff. Coldenhoff, who got a fine podium result in the first moto last week with a second in the night race in Qatar. This is that uphill triple where Tixier crashed. So Jeffrey Hurlings then. Over the steps, some of the jumps are stretched for the riders, but Hurlings getting himself wound up around the outside for a triple-double downhill section there. Looks like Nichols now in second, Febvre third, Charlier fourth as they come over the crest. There's Charlier, 23, and then the 111. Just behind the 14 of Max Anstey is Dean Ferris, and then Jordi Tixier in the orange. So everybody queuing up behind Boutron, pretty much like they were yesterday in the qualifying race, actually. But over the line for the first time then, fastest man on track is this guy here, number 84. Jeffrey Hurlings actually been home since Qatar. It was a night race there. He got a Sunday flight, was back home by lunchtime, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He's been at home all that time. He didn't arrive at the circuit until 7 o'clock in the morning. He got off the plane in Bangkok at 7 o'clock in the morning to Jeffrey Hurlings, and obviously temperatures considerably different in Holland to what they are here, but not doing him any problems at the moment. But Hurlings, Nichols, Febvre, Charlier, Boutron, they're your top 5. Then it's the number 14 on the yellow Suzuki of Max Anstey. He'll pop into view any moment now. Then we've got Dean Ferris on the Yamaha. Then Jordi Tixier. We're on board here with Dylan Ferrandis on the Rockstar Bud Racing Kawasaki. Alongside him, the J-Tech Honda on the right. That's the 136 of Stefan Olsen. And another Yamaha on the left. Is that Mel Pocock? No, it's 111, Dean Ferris. But Anstey getting a great jump and coming right across the front of Ferrandis, and Tixier going through as well, 911. There's at the elbow of Lieber getting into the side. Number 44, Elliot Banks-Brown starting right on the right-hand side. Elliot Banks-Brown in 16th position at the moment. Thought he might take the gamble and go around everybody as they slowed down, but you can see he just got held up right at the top end there. Mel Pocock, 119. No goggles for Mel Pocock, so I don't know what's happened there. So Mel Pocock straight away then, he's going to be having some kind of problems, and looking down the leaderboard, not inside the top 20. So whatever the problem there with the goggles, Mel Pocock clearly going down the start straight without them. And I'm guessing he would have come in a pit lane just to get those things sorted, because he did make a good start, Pocock. And yeah, down in 25th according to our leaderboard. So one official lap complete. Jeffrey Hurlings, fastest man on track, 149.4. Then we've got this battle here with Roman Febvre, who's found a way back past. That's the 461 on the lead KTM there. Found a way past his teammate Jake Nichols, number 45. Then we've got the blue Monster Energy Yamaha coming over the hill now in 4th place, Christophe Charlier. Then we've got Boutron, number 17 on the Silver Action KTM, but he's already lost a couple seconds to these guys. So the plan for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, the 3 riders in shot, is just to pull the pin and get away from Boutron. Max Anstey, though, on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki, riding number 14 in 6th position. He's going to have to work all of his magic to find a way past the Spaniard, Jose Boutron. Dean Ferris is in 7th place. Jordi Tixier is 8th. 9th is Glenn Coldenhoff. 10th, James Dunn. A great start for him on the HM Plant KTM. Then we've got Dylan Ferrandis, 11th, our onboard camera. Petr Petrov is 12th. 13th, Stefan Olsen. 14th, the TM, the Ritchie Racing Machine of Ivo Monticelli. Then the CLS Kawasaki of Alessandro Lupino in 15th. Then the HM Plant KTM of Elliot Banks-Brown. Kevin Falls, the number 922 on the Kimi Ratek Vanderlei Yamaha, finds himself in 17th ahead of Robert Just, Pascal Rauschnecker and Valentin Tellier. That's Jordi Tixier, 911, currently in 8th place as he works his way through what is occasionally for the MX2 guys a triple-double downhill section. Then this off cambered, right hand sweeping downhill turn over the Monster Energy finish line jump, through the next right, and then up and over this step that brings them back onto the start straight across the top of turn 1. There's Jake Nichols, number 45, in 3rd position at the moment. 10th place in the championship is Jake Nichols after his performance last week. So Jake Nichols looking to capitalise on some points here this weekend. He's 3 behind Alessandro Lupino and Julian Lieber, who's ahead of both of those at the moment. So already climbing up the leaderboard. He's 4 points behind Jose Boutron, who he's ahead of in the race as well. So suddenly Jake Nichols going from a potential 10th at the moment to around about 7th place. And he's also ahead of Jordi Tixier, who's just behind him. So still a long way to go though, 28.5 minutes plus 2 laps in the first of these 35-minute plus 2 lap races. Going to be around about 40 minutes around here, but you see the second half of the circuit here. Jeffrey Hurling's our race leader, number 84, hard and stony and slick and a little bit loose on top. Not too dissimilar actually to Aguda in Portugal. But already the gap between him and Febvre here, 6.5 seconds. There's Jake Nichols, he's got the GoPro helmet cam on the top of his head. He's in 3rd place. Picks the front wheel up nicely on those braking bumps downhill, but look at that. Number 23, Christophe Charlier on the Monster Energy Yamaha, starting to close in now and looking to find a way around the Brit in the battle for that 3rd final podium position. Jake Nichols riding with a slight back injury actually. Slammed himself to the ground on the opening lap in Qatar, just at the end of the first lap over that quad jump. He overjumped, lost the front end, fell backwards onto the circuit, onto the upslope of the 4th one. Didn't wind himself, but it was just instant pain, he said, and obviously rode through the pain barrier to get 18th in the first race, but a great 4th place in the second moto. In the group, of course, in that super final, which last week in Qatar, the super final was made up of the top 18 qualifiers from the first MX2 race and the top 18 from the first MX1 race, with a last chance going about an hour before the super final to filter 4 more riders through. On board here is Ferrandis going to come under pressure. Looks like it. And it's 152 Petrov, who steams down the inside into 11th position, but Peter Petrov taking no prisoners there whatsoever. But this week, going back to the super final and how the riders qualify, the top 10 riders in the championship. Oh, a mistake there for Nichols, gets out of the seat, but manages to keep that 3rd place ahead of Christophe Charlier. The sun beaming down on the circuit. It's okay when we have a bit of cloud cover. Seems to lose about 20 degrees difference in temperature, but it's still very hot and muggy and sticky in the air, the atmosphere. But as soon as that sun comes back out, you feel it straight away. And these riders, they'll just be hoping not to make any mistakes, try and keep it on 2 wheels for the whole 40 minutes. But Jake Nichols doing a great job there at the moment in 3rd. But 26 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Jeffrey Hurlings continues to lead from Romain Febvre, Jake Nichols, Christophe Charlier and Boutron. Christophe Charlier, number 23 on the blue Monster Energy Yamaha, comes over the line now. He's in 4th position, 13.5 seconds down on our race leader, Jeffrey Hurlings, but crawling all over the rear wheel of the Wilvo Nastan GM Racing KTM. The Brit rider, Jake Nichols, number 45, just dropping downhill now. Pit boards going out on pit lane. 10 minutes have gone. That's the signal to Christophe Charlier as Jake Nichols heads towards the first big Monster Energy jump. That's 30 meters from the first one to the downside of the second one. Pascal Rauschenegger, the only MX2 guy to get over that yesterday in the first free practice. Then it rained heavily as well. Torrents of water running down the circuit. Proceedings had to be halted until 2 o'clock in the afternoon when we had a shorter version of the program. Starting again with MX2, MX1 having 10 minutes of free and 20 minutes of time training. That was their time to determine their grid position for the qualifying race. Qualifying races went ahead without a hitch, on time, full laps, as did the MX2 race. There's Jordi Tixier, dropping down to 9th place at the moment, but I'd say riding through the pain barrier, but he's quoted as saying that actually he doesn't have any pain in the neck, just the stitches, but it's got to be uncomfortable. 14 stitches in his neck after the crash yesterday on that uphill triple that he was on a moment ago. He's got Glenn Koldenoff just ahead of him, 259, standing construct KTM rider from the Netherlands. And Koldenoff tied on 2nd place in the championship at the moment with Dean Ferris and Roman Fevre. Fevre's ahead of him. Ferris is just ahead of him as well in 7th position, so he's going to want to try and pick up some points on Ferris if he can in this race. Dean Ferris lost a rear brake in the qualifying moto yesterday. Collided with another rider, pulled the back brake round, and when he needed to hit it to dab himself down to change the angle of the bike over the second of the Monster Energy tabletop jumps on the infield, wasn't able to get the level of the bike down. He landed about a week past the landing and went straight on in the corner. A bit of a head onto the handlebar moment as well, but we're looking at Jordi Tixier though, as he tries to close in on 259. Glenn Koldenoff, these two battling over 8th place. We're going down a pit lane.
In the pit lane, Dirk Grubel, technical leader, Red Bull KTM. Jordi Tixier riding with some discomfort today after a crash in qualifying.
Yeah, well, he went down hard yesterday. He hit his chin probably at the handlebar somewhere. So they need to stitch him up in the hospital. He got 80 stitches to show him now close. But he's okay.
Build them tough over at Team KTM. Down the hill on the far side, it's about 120 odd meters down there. A good old-fashioned braking zone as well, braking bumps, and a great passing opportunity at the bottom of there as the day's going to go on, that's for sure. But Max Anstey on the Rockstar Bird Racing, sorry, just thrown there by the riders in pit lane there. It's one of the Latvia Elksny Honda riders. So the 195 Robert just comes in, but Max Anstey on the Rockstar Racing, Rockstar Energy Suzuki, we just saw a moment ago. He's in 6th position, just behind Jose Boutron. There's Dean Ferris, the Australian. Oh, just getting a little bit offline there. Notice there's no green fencing like in Qatar. That's been done away with for the 2013 World Championship season. Probably just as well, really, because that would have been one of those times where Dean Ferris may have landed offline and got that green fencing snagged around the rear wheel. So he continues on in the race in 7th position, but he's 2 seconds down on Max Anstey. So 21 minutes left on the clock, +2 in this first FIM MX2 motocross race here at C. Richard in Thailand. Jeffrey Hurlings leads from Roman Fevre and Jake Nichols. They top 3. Nichols 2 seconds clear now of Christophe Charlier in 4th. Then we've got Jose Boutron and the yellow Suzuki of Max Anstey. That's him there, number 14, the Brit. Then behind him, Dean Ferris, the Australian on the blue Yamaha, just coming into land now, number 111. Second overall in the championship, Dean Ferris, after Qatar. So Ferris looking to, not sure if he's looking to preserve energy here or go for more positions, but Glenn Koldenoff just behind him on the standing construct KTM. Then Tixier in 9th, Peter Petrov is 10th, Dylan Ferrandis 11th, Elliot Banks Brown is out, shaking his head. Ian Brown, his father there with a hat, mechanic. So Elliot Banks Brown, the HM Plank KTM rider, he's going to have to go through the last chance race after MX1, race 1, and that'll finish about an hour before the start of the super final, which will see the top 20 MX1 and MX2 riders go head-to-head for a 40-minute moto. All World Championship points count. So if you're watching the FIM Motocross World Championship for the first time this year, or the first time ever, you're watching MX2 Race 1. The points are scored: 25 points for a win, 22 for second, 20 for third, then 18, 16, then 15, right the way down then in single-digit numbers to 20th. So we have 20-point scorers from this first race. To get into the super final, the top 10 in the championship are automatically qualified. So that's Jeffrey Hurlings, who we're looking at on screen now, number 84 on the Red Bull KTM. Then Dean Ferris, Roman Fevre, Glenn Koldenoff, Christophe Charlier, Tixier, Jose Boutron, Julian Lieber, Alessandro Lupino and Jake Nichols. They're automatically qualified for the super final. So a week ago in Qatar, where the first 18 riders from this race went through, it's now the top 10 in the championship, followed by the next 8 best placed riders in this race. So Max Anstey, for instance, 14th in the championship. He's 6th at the moment. He would be one of the guys to go through because Hurlings, Febvre, Nichols and Charlier and Boutron are all ahead of him. So he would be the first rider to automatically transfer as a rider outside the top 10 in the championship. So we take 8 of those. The same format for MX1 immediately after this race. And then we have the last chance race where the top 2 MX2, top 2 MX1 riders go through. And of course we have 40 riders for that all-important super final. And again, all points count in that race towards your individual championship. So Jeffrey Hurlings could finish 7th in the race, but still pick up 25 points as a class victory in MX2. We're looking at number 14, Max Anstey, Rockstar Energy, Suzuki Europe, MX2. James Dunn looks like he's in as well, the second of the HM Plank KTM riders. So the number 20, James Dunn, who was 3rd in the European Championship last year in the 125 category, took an overall and a race win as well. The only rider to do so against the eventual 125 European champion, Tim Geiser. Been upgraded into MX2 this year, but finding it tough at the moment. Here's James Dunn, but it's not an easy class, not an easy championship either. Glenn Coldenhoff, 259 and 911, Jordi Tixier. 8th and 9th place for all the 2 KTM riders, as they look to try and close in on Dean Ferris. Monster Energy Yamaha in 7th position at the moment. 17 minutes to go. Normally these 40-minute motos fly by, but when it's hot and humid and sticky, and you make the odd mistake here and there, suddenly it can feel like an eternity. But Dean Ferris being caught here by Glenn Coldenhoff. So the standing construct KTM, number 259, the rider from the Netherlands, really on song here and trying to do the most damage that he can to find himself past Dean Ferris. And we've got to ride it down. Charlier goes down at the bottom of the hill. So Christophe Charlier is out of 4th place. So the slow right-hander was said a moment ago that the downhill, the old breaking point, the old-fashioned hard charge down into this corner here. It's loose, it's stony. Oh, right at the inside, and Ferrandis goes down as Lupino charges through up the inside, number 300 on the CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. So Lupino being barged out of 12th place, 11th place there. Then Lupino going through in the same corner where Charlier fell just a moment before that. So Charlier now remounting in 9th place as he comes over the line, having completed 9 laps. See where Ferrandis is as he works his way around the final turn on the track here. Dylan Ferrandis 13th, so loses a couple of positions to Lupino and Stefan Olsen on the JTEC Honda, who's incidentally is Esther Motorsports Honda rider teammate. Tonkov, Alex Tonkov, didn't make the 108% cutoff in the qualifying yesterday, so didn't even get a ride in the qualifying race. So no Tonkov here this weekend. Here's Lupino. His teammate, Arnold Tonis, not here. He got a slight fracture on the leg that he broke at the Motocross of Nations in Lommel last year. Landed heavily off a jump and the leg took the impact, so going to be out for a few weeks. Could be back for Valkensoir, but it might be just a little bit later than that. Here we are on board with Dylan Ferrandis. Left the door wide open for Lupino, who must have squared off and came through. Rear wheel tags front wheel, goes down. Dylan Ferrandis losing 2 positions in the process. But Dylan Ferrandis picks himself up and rejoins the race in 13th. Jeffrey Hurlings, though, continues to lead by a considerable margin over Roman Febvre. Jake Nichols with Boutron now 4th. Anstey inside the top 5. Dean Ferris, 1:11 on the Monster Energy Yamaha, now in 6th place. Still got Glenn Coldenhoff, number 259, and the 9:11 there of Jordi Tixier, breathing all over the back of that Monster Energy Yamaha. This is a battle for 6th place involving the 3 riders, the Australian, the Dutch, and the French kid. Then you see a nice gap behind them. That's Christophe Charlier now 10 seconds behind them. Oh, bit of a moment there for Tixier. There's a rear wheel, just found a boggy patch, just threw him forward there. Coming out of that turn 2 onto the plateau past the pit lane area. Through this left over a ski hill. That's Max Anstey, number 14, Rockstar Energy Suzuki rider. He's in 5th position, still about a second down. In fact, has he found a way past? He has, he's found a way past Boutron. So now in 4th place, Max Anstey. So Anstey has turned on the style this week. Actually, talking to him on Friday, he said that because he came directly from the US where he'd been doing Supercross races and doing his outdoor training there pre-season. Oh, Coldenhoff looking to go down the inside of Ferris, who closes the door on him at the bottom of the hill. So Dean Ferris really has to be on his guard now with the... Oh, and a mistake. So Coldenhoff, just a little bit exuberant. He gains that time and then loses it, and he's falling right back into the clutches of Jordi Tixier, who takes the Lupino line. A tighter line through the inside. This corner, horrible, difficult corner, more off camber than it looks on TV. Hard ground underneath and loose and stony. Been a fair few riders go down there. You see around the neck of Dean Ferris, just underneath the chin guard of the helmet. Got the drink system, the U-Sui drink system. Some riders, of course, using other versions as well, like Camelbacks and things like that. But Dean Ferris, though, needing all the hydration fluids that he can take by the look of things, as Coldenhoff rapidly closes back in on the Australian. And it's Tixier who starts to lose the ground now. Oh, the back end there of Tixier, just getting pitched on the approach to the big tabletop. Hurling's 20 seconds clear of Romain Fevre at the moment. So the Red Bull KTM leading the Wilbon Star KTM. Then it's Max Anstey, Rockstar Energy Suzuki in 3rd. Jose Boutron's Silver Action KTM is 4th. This is the battle for 5th place here. The blue Monster Energy Yamaha, the 1:11 of Dean Ferris, and the 2:59 of Glenn Coldenhoff on the left of your picture. On the standing construct, who's going to square off the Australian, who reads him like a book. So Coldenhoff not getting through there. He got on the gas too soon here last time, lost a bit of ground, but gets better drive this time. And then he got another mistake in this right-hander at the top of the hill, but safely through, but nothing in it between the 5th, 6th and 7th place riders. Dean Ferris on the blue Yamaha, and Glenn Coldenhoff and Jordi Tixier just behind, and Tixier almost catches the rear wheel of Coldenhoff, who makes a mistake as he gets on the gas there. Double, single, double for Tixier. Number 9:11 as he looks to go around the outside of Glenn Coldenhoff. Coldenhoff has the inside line that goes wide though coming out of the turn, and then holds up Tixier momentarily as he pulls a tear up, but Tixier gets the drive and has to back off there over the Monster Energy finish line jump. So an incredible battle going on here between Dean Ferris on the blue Yamaha in 5th place. Glenn Coldenhoff, the 259, the rider in the middle there in 6th. Tixier is 7th, number 9:11. Christophe Charlier now 12 seconds behind this battle. He's in 8th after sitting in 4th position until that mistake just a couple of laps ago. And we've got Petrov in 9th. On the... just looking to see if Tixier can find a way through there. No, he can't, but 152, Petr Petrov, the Kimio Raytech Vanderlei Yamaha rider, finds himself in 10th place at the moment. Then it's Alex Lupino, Stefan Olsen, Dylan Ferrandis, Pascal Rauschnecker, Valentin Tellier is 15th, Julian Lieber 16th, Mel Pocock, who started the race without goggles bizarrely, he's in 7th. Then Maxime Dupre, Kevin Ford and Ivo Monticelli. just behind them. Vyacheslav Golovkin, James Cottrell is 22nd. Toshiki Tomita is 23rd. Giacomo Del Segato and Harry Kulas with Ki Yamamoto down in 26th. We've got retirements from James Dunn, Elliot Banks-Brown and Robert Just earlier on in the race. Tixier, 9-11, continues to hound the 259 of Glenn Coldenhoff to find a way into 6th position. And both the KTMs looking to do something. As a mistake there from Tixier. Both KTMs looking to try to find a way past Dean Ferris, who just seems to be doing enough at the moment. He's reading the race very, very well. He knows the guys have got to go the long way round or come through him if they're to find a way through. And Dean Ferris obviously not wanting to put too much into this first race, knowing that there's going to be a much tougher, maybe a much higher intensity second race to come when the 250s ride head-to-head in the super final with the 450s from MX1. A lot of rocks out on the track as well on the second half of the circuit, so going to be mindful of that. Might see a few more handguards on the bikes for the second MX2 race for the guys. Couple of pulls there on the left side of the goggles for number 259, Glenn Coldenhoff, as he goes for clear vision, pulling off the tear-offs. But look at that, Tixier gets good drive, runs it alongside on the big step up into the right-hander, but again he gets the door closed in his face. Tixier, with 7.5 minutes plus 2 to go, looks like a rider who believes he can pull off another 2 positions here in the time that's left on the clock. That will take him to 5th place in the race if that's the case. Oh, mistake there from Ferris, who gets pitched out of the seat. Coldenhoff runs alongside. The pass is going to come here. Ferris takes a look over his shoulder, tries to keep it in on the outside. Nothing he can do, and he loses a position to Coldenhoff, who goes from one side to the other, defends the inside line at the bottom of the hill. Ferris, three-way rider here. Ferris fights back and retakes that position immediately. I thought Jordi Tixier was going to sneak up on both riders then and have them both, but Dean Ferris, he knew what he wanted to do at the bottom of the hill. He backed off the gas just a little bit early and found a way back up the inside of the 259 of Glenn Coldenhoff, who's having a fantastic start to the MX2 campaign this year on the standing construct KTM. Over the line then for the 14th time. 6.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. MX2 race 1 here. It's round 2 of the FIM Motocross World Championship. We're at the Sirachar circuit in Thailand, about an hour and a half south of Bangkok. And it's the first time ever the Motocross World Championship has come to Thailand for a Grand Prix. Jeffrey Hurlings, 25 seconds clear on the Red Bull KTM of Romain Febvre, the Wilmonistan JM Racing KTM. Ferrandis, what's he doing now? Jumping off the track. Oh, jumping short. Is he going down? No, manages to get over the point there and back on, but his teammate, Valentin Tellier, going around the outside and moving into 13th. Julian Lieber's also gone through as well. Ahead of the 122, Dylan Ferrandis. So Ferrandis initially looking like he's fought back there, but maybe he lost the positions again just at the bottom of the next hill. So Hurlings then leads, Febvre's second, Anstey is third on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki, fourth is Jose Boutron on the Silver Action KTM. Then we've got this battle here, 5th, 6th, 7th. Number 111, Dean Ferris, the 259 of Glenn Coldenhoff, and the 911, the Red Bull KTM of Jordi Tixier. Then it's Jake Nichols there in the background, coming under the SAT uphill triple banner. He's in 8th place. Christophe Charlier is 9th, and Pelle Petrov is 10th. Alex Lupino is in 11th, with Stefan Olsen 12th. Valentin Tellier is 13th. Julian Lieber 14th. Dylan Ferrandis 15th. Pocock now 16th. So Pocock, despite being down in 16th, finds himself in an intense battle actually with the guys around him who are all good quality riders. Dylan Ferrandis about a 2.5 seconds clear of him at the moment. Julian Lieber about the same. So Pocock then in 16th. Rauschnecker 17th. The number 76 on the standing construct KTM. Teammate to this guy here, 259. Glenn Coldenhoff, who remains there in 6th position behind the blue Monster Energy Yamaha, the number 111 Mechanic Jordan hands out the pit board to him. So Ferris holding his station in 5th. Looks like he may have broken the 259 of Glenn Coldenhoff, or is Coldenhoff just having another go here? Just taking a moment to regroup. Certainly looks that way. Up onto the step up in front of one of the grandstands here. Then what we thought might have been a downhill triple. Well, it is if you go wide, but riders going to the inside. Found it too wide around the outside. Look at this again. Trying to square off the Australian is 259 Coldenhoff as he goes after 5th place man Ferris on that blue Yamaha. Gets good drive up the inside, but then has to get off the gas through the uphill waves. 5 of them through there. Need all the drive you can get just to get to the top of that uphill triple. Out the right, downhill tabletop, steeper than it looks on TV as well. Into the heavy braking zone. It's loose, it's hard, it's stony and choppy through there. Ferris tries to keep it nice and tight. Double, single, double. Or nope, 2 singles at the bottom. Wants to keep an inside line again. Tixier favouring the higher outside line, but just a little bit too sticky through there for him. Another wipe of the goggles for 259. Coldenhoff allows Tixier to close back in 7th position. So Coldenhoff, again, as we've seen so many times in this first MX2 race here in Thailand, gains the time on Ferris, then loses it and falls right back into the clutches of 911 Tixier, and he will not need a second invitation. Jordi Tixier, if the door is left open from the Dutchman. A little bit heavy through there, but he still gets good drive on the Rebel KTM, the rider on the right side of his screen. Is he going to try and sneak up the inside here? Ooh, he tries to show a wheel to Glenn Coldenhoff. And all the time these two are going at it. That's playing right into the hands perfectly for Dean Ferris on a Monster Energy Yamaha. Oh, the back end gets out of shape there for Coldenhoff, and that is the mistake. And Tixier was right there, ready to pounce, and he goes through, but comes offline, coming out of that right-hander on the approach to the step-up. Caught some horrible bumps there. So with a couple of minutes to go, plus those 2 laps, Jeffrey Hurling's now 28 seconds clear of Romain Fevre, who's 10 seconds clear of Max Anstey in 3rd. Jose Boutron is 4th. Then we've got Dean Ferris, and now it's the 911 on the Rebel KTM of Jordi Tixier. Then Glenn Coldenhoff 7th. Jake Nichols still in 8th. Then it's 9th place for Christophe Charlier, and Alessandro Lupino now finds himself in 10th. We're looking at Jose Boutron having a great ride in 4th place at the moment. Had a good qualifying, was 3rd for much of the time, lost 2 positions on the final lap. And Jake Nichols and Glenn Coldenhoff both went by, but he's shown that if he gets a good start, he can hang up there with these guys, maybe favouring the warmer conditions more than most European riders, because that's a challenge on itself. Dylan Ferrandis, though, had a couple of interesting moments in this first MX2 race. Sort of getting railroaded by Alessandro Lupino and then jumping off the track and losing a position briefly to his teammate, Valentin Tellier. Tellier down in 17th place now. Dylan Ferrandis up in 14th, just ahead of Mel Pocock. Still about a second and a half between those two guys. Ferrandis a 156.2 that time around, a 57.2 for Mel Pocock. So just losing a little bit of ground as we go back downfield to 10th place for the number 300, the CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. The Italian, Alessandro Lupino, a former FIM 85cc world champion, and he's got Christophe Charlier in his sights. And Charlier just looking to see if they're red goggles or if he's actually, not sure if he's taken them off as a result of his fall and maybe just getting him a little bit fogged up. But Lupino looks like he's the one going forward here as Hurlings goes over the line and takes the 2-lap board, having completed 17 laps. No, goggles are off. Charlier. So Charlier needing a little bit of ventilation, having made that mistake, and that's the problem. You don't feel it until you make that mistake, and then you stop, and then the heat wells up from your boots right to your helmet. And Lupino goes through. So Charlier then He's hung himself out there for the last 2 laps. He's not going to get through again because obviously you see him ducking ahead as the roost coming up off the rear wheel of the Kawasaki of Alessandro Lupino here, number 300. And he's got Jake Nichols right in his sights as well. So Jake Nichols in danger of losing a position with just over a lap to go. 300, Lupino in the ascendancy here. Holding a tighter line through that difficult off-camber. Slow-mo, nothing much to see there though. Charlier made that mistake in the left-hander prior to going downhill, but you can see no goggles, turns the face, gets a face full of roost there, has to duck the visor on the helmet. And from there, well, Charlier finds himself down in 10th place. Dylan Ferrandis we're on board with again. Rockstar Bud Racing Kawasaki. Into the off-cambered left, couple of corners before the finish line. Here's Hurlings at the bottom of the long hill. Got about a lap and a half go, maybe a lap and a third, something like that. Giacomo Del Segato, the 262. That's the guy he's lapping at the moment, and Del Segato there is in 26th position. So Jeffrey Hurlings maybe not pushing as hard. Who's that gone down? Tellier. So Tellier, 737, the teammate. That might have been a couple of laps ago actually, because obviously Tellier was always behind Ferrandis, certainly for the last few laps. Jeffrey Hurlings, though, our race leader, the Red Bull Factory KTM rider there, number 84 from the Netherlands, the defending world champion and current championship leader in 2013. 2 race wins last week, one of those individually in the MX2 race 1, and the second one in the super final as he came home as lead MX2 rider. He's on his final lap here. Says the hot conditions aren't normally his favourite, but it's the same for everybody, so if he's suffering, then so's everybody else. But fortunately for him, got a very good motorcycle there. He knows how to ride it very well as well. So Hurlings cruising around this final lap, 37.5 seconds clear of Romain Fevre. Fastest lap of the race, 149.4 compared to the 150.8 of Romain Fevre in the early stages of this race. But Jeffrey Hurlings, he's backed off the gas. He knows he's got enough time in hand just to cruise through now and enjoy what should be another victory here. Celebrating in front of the crowd. There's a good crowd up behind us here on this camera stand. A lot of locals under umbrellas and that kind of thing, as you'd expect. Taking time out of the shade and the hot and humid conditions. Nice breeze. We are told there's a 60% chance of rain today, and when it got breezy yesterday, that rain did come. So hopefully we won't get any, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do. But Jeffrey Hurlings, penultimate corner, over the single, through the final corner, and Jeffrey Hurlings takes the checkered flag here and wins Moto number 1 in Thailand. And he wins in convincing style as well. More than 30 seconds he was at the start of the lap. We're just waiting for Romain Fevre to come through on the Wilbo Nastan JM Racing KTM. But Jeffrey Hurlings, he'll need a well-deserved drink. First thing I want is a bottle of water. Valentino Ragni just chauffeuring him to the right area just to get himself sorted out. But Romain Fevre looks over his shoulder, comes out of the final turn and drops onto the Monster Energy finish line now. That's second place for him, so he's more than pumped with that. That's another 22 points to his World Championship tally. He will be confirmed in second position in the championship going into race 2. So 40 seconds of difference in the end. Hurlings, Fevre, Anstey hangs on to third, Boutron 4th, Ferris holds on for 5th. Dylan Ferrandis making his way down towards the finish line area. on the number 122 Rockstar Bird Racing Kawasaki. Been an interesting race for him, that's for sure, but in a moment, of course, we'll give you the official confirmation, but for now, it's Jeffrey Hurlings from Roman Febvre, Max Anstey, your top three, Jose Boutron 4th, Dean Ferris 5th, Jordi Tixier 6th, Glenn Coldenhoff for 7th. Lupino did find a way past Jake Nichols in the end. And Jake Nichols has dropped right the way down on that final lap, down to 19th. So a problem for Jake Nichols in the closing stages of the race. He was in 9th place as Jeffrey Hurlings came over the line. So, of course, we'll be looking to see Jake Nichols. We're going down to our winner, though. Here's Amy, I think, with our winner, Jeffrey Hurlings, the winner from race 1. That's what we're waiting for up here. So hopefully we'll be able to shed some light on that, because Jake Nichols, he'll be disappointed with that. He was inside the top 10. And not sure at this stage whether he's going to have to go through to the... Hey, looks like he didn't finish the complete the lap, so problem on the previous lap. But that was your winner, Jeffrey Hurlings, and he's down by the podium getting ready to speak to Amy.
Remember, you win the whole shot award here this weekend. Tell me about the start.
Yeah, my start, it's very bad. I take a shot, but yeah, Jeffrey passed me in the first lap, and yeah, he's very fast this weekend. It's difficult for follow him. But yeah, I'm very happy. It's my best result in GP. It's just my second year in GP, and it's unbelievable for me. And thanks to my team with Vanessa and Jam Racing, he worked for me every day, and yeah, he worked very hard for me. And yeah, Red Bull, all sponsored, and you can see on my shirt. Yeah.
Well done. Well, I'm very pleased to give you. You're getting a tenner check.
Apologies there. Interview then with our Get Athena Whole Shot Award winner, Roman Febvre. Picks up a bunch of euros for his time and for his whole shot, but also picking up his best ever World Championship result in MX2. Can he do it again in race 2, though? That's the big thing. Of course, he'll be mixed with the super final MX1 riders as well. So, but hey, another good start there. You never know. Just looking down the list here to see which riders will make it through to the super final. Obviously, we know the top 10 riders: Hurlings, Ferris, Febvre, Coldenhoff, Charlier, but we'll have more information in a moment. Well, Max Anstey will go through, so too will Petr Petrov. Stefan Olsen should go through directly. Lieber was already there, so 76. Pascal Rauschenegger, he will find himself going through as well, as will Dylan Ferrandis. And Mel Pocock will also find himself going through. 737, Valentin Tellier was also placed 18th in the championship, so he'll go through. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and one more rider, Ivo Monticelli. Everybody else, including Jake Nichols, would have to go through the last chance race. That's how the riders finished. Jeffrey Hurlings from Roman Febvre, Max Anstey 3rd. Then it was Jose Boutron, Dean Ferris, Jordi Tixier 6th, Glenn Coldenhoff 7th, Alex Lupino 8th, Charlier was 9th, Petr Petrov was 10th. He was the second rider to go through after Max Anstey. Then it was Stefan Olsen. Then we've got another interview.
To win there. Obviously, one of the main factors today is the heat. How is it out there on track?
It's so warm, you know, you can't believe it, you know. Feels like it's 45 degrees. When you step off the bike, you get like an explosion in your head and your body, you know, you get so warm. But you know, it's difficult, you know, but it's for everyone the same, so no excuse has been made. But had a solid race, took almost a whole shot, got second, but straight in the lead and cruise around and won with 30 seconds up front. So I'm really pumped about my race. Only thing I'm wishing for is a good start in super final. If I take a whole shot, definitely get me a top 5, but you know, we'll see. You know, it's going to be long. As long as I'm winning the MX2 moto, I'm pumped. And never could do it without Red Bull KTM Racing Team. Thanks all you guys.
Well done. We'll see you later for that super final form.
Yeah, Yeah, good ride for Jeffrey Hurlings. I just realised as well I said that Jake Nichols would have to go through to the last chance race, but he won't have to. Of course, he's laying 10th in the championship. So despite coming home in 19th, Jake Nichols is safe and will not have to overexert himself going into the last chance race. So the top 10 in the championship: Jeffrey Hurlings, Dean Ferris, Roman Fevre, Glenn Koldenoff, Christophe Charlier, Jordi Tixier, Jose Boutron, Julian Lieber, Alex Lupino and Jake Nichols will go through. And then the additional riders I'll give you in a moment. There's our second place winner. Here's Amy. She's getting ready to speak to Roman Fevre.
Roman, we saw you earlier take that whole shot award, but how was the rest of your race?
Yeah, my race. It's my teammate passed me in maybe first lap or second lap. After I follow him because I have a bad line, and after I take the line from Jake, and yeah, it's better. I pass him, and after I take immediately a small gap on him, and yeah, but I'm very happy. I finished second. Yeah, it's my best result in GP, and yeah, I'm very happy, and I want the same for the second race.
Well done again.
Get the sponsors in, Roman. Good lad. So Roman Fevre takes his best result in MX2 with a second place finish behind the championship leader, Jeffrey Hurlings. He'll be looking to do it all again in the super final a little later on. Of course, he's got time out now. He can switch off and relax, rehydrate, cool himself down. They will also get a little bit more time than the MX1 guys before they go into that race as well. But the extra riders who make it through then: Max Anstey, Petr Petrov, 136 of Stefan Olsen, Pascal Rauschnecker, Dylan Ferrandis, Mel Pocock, Valentin Tellier and Monticelli. Here's our third place finisher.
It's great to see you riding again up in that top three. How are you settling in at your new team?
Good, you know, we've worked really hard, and you know, it just seemed like I had a big crash in Qatar in the first race, and I've just been feeling a bit stiff the last few days, but finally feel like we're back to where we belong, and the heat's good. This is what I like, and I'm looking forward to the next race. One thing I do have to say, it's my little brother's birthday. He's 2 years old. Happy birthday, Kingston, and go out and go fast in the next one.
Thanks, Max.
Go fast, Max. Go fast. And happy birthday, Kingston. So good ride for Max Anstey on the podium in the second Grand Prix here at Moto number 1, behind Jeffrey Hurlings and Roman Fevre. So Max Anstey, then, the Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe MX2 rider, goes third. This championship standings at the moment: Hurlings, Fevre and Ferris. Koldenoff stays fourth as Charlier and Tixier. Look how close it is there, 45s and 44s. Jake Nichols dropping down to 13th at the moment, so obviously he'll need to pick up a few points in the super final to keep himself inside the top 10. But of course, the next round is Valkenswaard, round 3 in 3 weeks' time on Easter weekend. There will be no super final format there. We'll be back to 2 MX1 and 2 MX2 races. So the next time we do that will be when we go back to Brazil and Mexico. MX1 is up in just a moment.